I learned to keep my voice down before I knew my name. Learned to read the room like it was part of the game. I thought tension in the silence was just how people lived. Thought walking on a wire was the way you learn to forgive.
I called it being careful, I called it being strong, but shrinking isn't safety, and bending can go wrong. I thought carrying the weight
made me mature and wise. Didn't know that peace existed without compromise.
I didn't know, I couldn't see there was another way to be.
What I thought was normal was just surviving. What I thought was strength was only hiding. I was holding breath, calling it life, wearing heavy armor every night. But love showed me a different story, and what I thought was normal was never meant for me. I thought the ache was standard, just part of getting through. Thought constant low-grade fear was something everyone knew.
But peace doesn't feel fragile, it doesn't bruise that way, it doesn't make you smaller, but steal your voice away.
I'm learning now to recognize
the difference between truth and disguise.
what I thought was normal was just surviving. What I thought was love was fear disguised. I was calling chaos just my lot in life, calling self-erasing sacrifice. But grace rewrote the definition of what is healthy, what is right.
It wasn't weakness to need more, it wasn't wrong to want peace,
it wasn't pride to set a boundary,
it was learning to breathe. Normal isn't walking wanted, normal isn't numb, normal isn't losing yourself just to someone. What I thought was normal is fading from my mind, fading.
I'm finding something gentler, something more alive. I don't have to brace for every door, I don't have to shrink anymore. Love showed me what's possible, and what I thought was normal isn't normal anymore.
Not anymore,
Not anymore. Fading is still this. I didn't know how heavy it had slowly become. Just kept adding to the silence, till the silence felt like home. I called it being strong, I called it being wise, but strength can turn to armor, and armor hides the cries.
I learned to hold my questions like they were safer, unspoken. Learned to carry disappointment like it wasn't slowly choking. Every hurt I folded inward, every fear I memorized. I wore it like a shadow, you could see it in my eyes, in your eyes.
You never asked asked me to pretend.
It never told me to be strong.
You just stayed when I carried it too long. The weight I
Carry was never mine alone.
You were reaching while I was holding on.
The weight I carried began to fall apart when I finally led you into the heaviest part.
I thought if I released it, everything would break. Like if I stopped controlling, there'd be nothing left to say.
You don't crush the fragile, you don't shame the weak. You lift what I was hiding and call the burden light.
You didn't rush the moment, didn't turn away. You just let me where the pressure stayed. The weight I carried was fear. I learned to trust.
The trust and love is stronger than the things that crush.
The weight I carry is not who I am.
You're teaching these trembling hands how to open again.
I don't have to hold it.
I don't have to hide the heaviest pieces you carry inside. Inside. The weight I carry is falling away. Falling away.
You're not just near me, you're lifting the weight.
The weight I carry doesn't define my name. I was never meant to bear it alone. You were already there.
Fade into silence. I know these roads by memory, every turn, every excuse. How I build a wall around my fear and call it what I choose. I say I'm moving forward, but I circle back again. Like freedom feels too foreign, and familiar feels like friend.
Like a friend. You don't leave me in the cycle. You don't shame me for the fall.
You keep calling through it all.
I'm breaking old patterns, one breath at a time.
One breath.
The past doesn't own me, it doesn't define. I'm breaking old patterns, not by my strength,
but by love that is patient and mercy that waits.
I learned how to survive it before I learned to trust. How to keep my heart protected before I gave it up.
You don't rush the healing, you don't tear the scar. You just sit inside the silence and meet me where we are.
Every time I start to slip, you steady me gently. I'm breaking old patterns, not running in place. The lies I believe are losing their weight. I'm breaking old patterns, the chains are undone. What once felt automatic no longer has control. Different step, different sound, new ground.
What felt wired in me
Is coming loose, truth is rewriting the truth.
I don't have to be who I was.
I don't have to return.
Love is teaching me to learn.
I'm breaking old patterns, not slowly, not now.
Not now, you're giving me courage to live differently somehow.
I'm breaking old patterns, with you by my side.
The past may remember, but I don't have to hide. I stayed where it was familiar, though it slowly wore me thin. Called it peace and called it patience, while it held me in. Every wall felt like protection, every chain felt justified, till I heard you in the distance, saying come outside.
You don't have to stay here anymore. There is more. I'm learning to leave. Will never set me free. I'm opening my head to what you have for me. I'm learning to leave, though it's hard to breathe. You are walking ahead, you are calling me.
Oh,
I thought the weight I carry was just part of who I am. Thought the fear inside my chest was something I should understand.
but you don't build with burden, you don't lead with shame. You are not the voice that tells me I should stay the same. Even when I hesitate,
You are near, you are here. I'm learning to leave what kept me small.
I'm stepping through the door, even if I fall.
I'm learning to leave what I used to believe. You are walking ahead and teaching me to be free. Step by step, breath by breath, you are leading me. And not with pressure, not with fear, but with love that draws me near. I'm learning to lead, you are with me. I'm learning to lead, you are setting me free.
I didn't hear it loudly, No thunder in the sky, just a quiet kind of knowing it was time to say goodbye. The walls were still around me, but something felt undone. What used to feel like safety now felt like being numb.
Being numb. You were standing in the doorway, calling me, come and see.
When it was time to go, you gave me courage slow.
Not a fire in the night,
just a steady glow. When it was time to go, you didn't let me run. You walked beside my feet till the leaving had begun.
I thought I needed answers before I took a step. Thought freedom would feel louder with no room for regret. But you don't rush the breaking, you don't force the door. You wait until I'm ready for something more. Even in the trembling, you were kind all the time. When it was time to go, you held my shaking hands. You didn't promise ease, just better than. When it was time to go, you stayed close to me, not pulling me ahead, just helping me believe. Door by door, step by step, you were faithful, yeah. Not with pressure, not with shame, but with love that spoke my name. When it was time to go, you were near. When it was time to go, you were here.
There was a suitcase on the carpet, half unzipped beside the bed. I folded up the future we had painted in my head. Didn't take the photographs, left them on the wall. Some things you don't need to carry when you're learning how to fall.
Learning how. The house was quiet breathing, like it knew before I did. The love can turn to survival if you keep it tightly hid. I traced the edge of courage with shaking careful hands. Sometimes leaving softly is the bravest way to stand.
The bravest way to stand. No slam doors,
no bitter words,
just truth finally heard. That was the night I packed my heart,
not out of anger but out of need.
That was the night I chose the dark
over staying somewhere I couldn't breathe.
I didn't know where I was going, only what I couldn't stay. So I packed my heart
and walked away.
courage behind the versions of myself I used to play. The peacekeeper, the fixer, who slowly slipped away.
You don't have to carry every promise ever made, if keeping it is costing the person you became. It wasn't failure, it wasn't shame, it was
calling things by name. That was the night I packed my heart, folded up the fear. That was the night I let it start, a life that felt more clear. I didn't leave to hurt you, I left to find my way. So I packed my heart and walked away.
Love shouldn't feel like disappearing,
shouldn't feel like slow decay.
It shouldn't ask you to be smaller
just to make it stay. Sometimes the holiest decision is the hardest one to make. Sometimes saving your own soul
looks like walking out the gate. That was the night I packed my heart and held it close to me.
That was the night I chose to start becoming fully free. No fireworks, no grand display, just quiet courage not in the way.
That was the night I packed my heart and didn't leave it behind that day.
I kept it with me, fade into warm. It wasn't loud or cinematic, no thunder in the sky, no shattered plates, no final fight, no dramatic goodbye. Just a tired economy settling in my chest, like something in me finally refused to second guess.
Refused to second guess. I had rehearsed forgiveness till it almost felt like truth. Called it patience, called it grace, called it that's just what you do. But grace without a boundary is a slow and quiet theft, and love that costs your dignity is too expensive to accept.
I didn't slam the door, I didn't raise my voice, I just made a different choice.
That was the day I said enough, not in anger, not in spite, just a line drawn in the quiet between surrender and my right to breathe without explaining, to stand without defense, to stop shrinking in the corners. That was the day I said enough.
It wasn't even personal, it was survival at its core. A heart that had been bending, could not bend anymore. Sometimes peace is walking before the storm begins. Sometimes strength is closing what you kept pre-opening.
No more rehearsed apology,
no more borrowed blame, no more living halfway just to keep things tame.
That was the day I said enough, and something shifted deep. Fear that once controlled me finally fell asleep. Not everything was fixed, not everything was clear, but something in my backbone finally appeared. That was the day I said enough,
thought I'd feel regret,
I thought I'd feel alone,
but I felt my shoulders rising,
like I finally come home. Enough of being smaller, enough of playing tough, enough of proving worth enough was enough. That was the day I said enough, and I meant it in my bones. Red not a warning, just the truth I finally own. No chaos in my leaving, no bitterness to carry, just a steady heart deciding it deserves something better. That was the day I said enough, and I haven't looked back since.
I used to answer every whisper like it had the final say. Every fear that called my name, I let it lead me away. I built my days around it, let it sit beside my throne. Gave it more authority than it was ever shown.
Ever shown. I shame at the headlines of every memory. Let regret become the lens through which I learn to see. I point to old addictions, to patterns dressed as truth. But chains don't have opinions, they just tighten when you move.
But something in your voice,
Right through the noise, you said that's not who you are.
you're not my master anymore, not the voice I'm listening for.
Not anymore.
You don't define my steps, you don't decide what's next. I've heard a better word, I found a stronger Lord. What once held power is not my master anymore.
You used to sit at my table, fear used to guard the door. But love has rearranged the room and they don't live here anymore.
I don't have to fight you, I don't have to prove your authority was broken the day I chose the truth.
You called my real name.
I lost its claim.
I'm not who I was before.
You're not my master anymore, not the chain across the floor.
You don't own my future, you don't shape my core.
Grace rewrote the story, opened up the door. What once held power is not my master anymore. I don't belong to fear, Dave, I don't answer yes or damn.
I've been called forgiven,
I've been called restored.
and what once ruled my life is not anymore. You're not my master anymore.
I walk in different freedom than I've ever known before.
Love has the final word, truth has closed the door. What once held power is not my master anymore.
I thought I'd have to run to prove that I was free. Thought freedom and a fire burn invisibly. But healing isn't thunder, it doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a quiet step toward a different door.
A different door. I don't need a headline for every change inside. Don't need to make a spectacle of what I've left behind. Some habits lose their grip when I stop giving chase. Some voices fade to silence when I no longer stay. No longer stay.
It's not dramatic,
It's not loud,
but it's steady now. I'm walking away slowly from what I used to be.
used to be.
Not turning back in anger, just choosing differently. I'm walking away slowly from the weight that held me tight. One quiet step
At a time into light.
I don't have to curse it to know it wasn't right. I don't have to fight to step into new life.
Growth can feel like silence, like nothing much has changed. But every gentle note floors.
Just a heart learning to pause. I'm walking away slowly from patterns I outgrew.
Not because I hate them, but because I found what's true.
I'm walking away slowly from the noise inside my head. Each step is small,
But it's forward instead. I don't need to prove I've changed.
I don't need to win.
I just need to keep moving and not go back again.
Freedom isn't rushed, it doesn't have to show. Sometimes it looks like walking away slow. I'm walking away slowly from the fear that shaped my days. I'm walking away slowly into quiet grace. No spotlight, no grand display, just faithful steps leading the way.
One step at a time, feeling the warmth.
The morning didn't feel heroic, no sunlight through the blinds, just quiet coffee cooling and too much space inside. No anthem in the background, no sudden sense of peace, just one small breath I noticed was finally released. Finally released.
Healing isn't lightning, it doesn't split the sky. It's brushing off the dust and asking yourself why. It's making your bed slowly in a room that's yours alone. It's learning how to sit with the silence of your own. The silence of your own.
I thought I'd feel dramatic, like a wave crashing in, but freedom sometimes whispers before it settles in.
It's the step by step, the inch by inch, the learning not to flinch, not to flinch. Just the day by day, the slow rebuild, the space where fear once lived. No giant leap, no perfect plan, just steady feet and open hands. It's the step by step that makes you whole again.
To chase the breakthrough like it would fix it all, but strength is often quiet, it doesn't shine on.
It's choosing softer language inside your own head. It's resting when you're tired instead of pushing ahead. No spotlight, just progress being made.
It's the step by step, the inch by inch, the loosening of the grip. It's the breath by breath, the steady climb out of the old decline. You don't have to run to move ahead, you don't have to rush what's barely mended. It's the step by step that teaches you to live. I used to think that healing
would look impressive somehow, but it looks like washing dishes and forgiving yourself now.
It looks like taking phone calls,
it looks like going outside, it looks like staying present when you'd rather hide. It's a step by step, the quiet wins, the strength beneath your skin, beneath your skin. It's a day by day, you don't give up on who you're becoming. No fireworks, no grand design, just faithful feet, one line at a time. And that is step by step, and that is how you rise.
I used to call it shelter for safe and careful walls, measured out my freedom so I wouldn't risk a fall. Learned the shape of smallness like it fit me just the same. Told myself I liked it, didn't know I'd changed.
Didn't know you changed. You can live inside limits so long it feels like skin. You forget the weight you carry till you try to move again. It wasn't made of iron, it wasn't made of steel, just quiet expectations about what you should feel, but you should feel.
I wasn't trapped, I was contained by a life that fit me yesterday.
I'm not breaking out in anger, I'm not running from the pain. I just woke up one morning and the walls felt too tired to stay.
The door is always open, I just hadn't tried, but something in me stretched and touched the sky.
It isn't rebellion,
it's outgrowing the cage. Thanked it for protection for the seasons it held me in, but safety turns to ceiling when your wings bend.
You don't have to hate the past to know it's time to leave. Growth doesn't ask permission, it just asks you to believe. No blame away, just step into a wider stage. I'm not tearing down the structure, I'm not burning every brick, I'm just choosing open air over barely being big. The light lock was made of old ideas, the key was always mine. I didn't see the door before, but now I see the light.
It isn't escape,
It's outgrowing the cage.
it held me when I needed holding, shaped me when I was small. But staying past my season, shrink me after all. I don't leave in accusation, I
Don't leave in spite.
I leave because my shoulders finally feel their height.
I'm not breaking out in anger, I'm stepping into space,
I'm not chasing after freedom, I'm becoming what I am made in to be. The sky was always waiting beyond what I could see. I didn't lose my safety, I found my dignity. It isn't rebellion, it's outgrowing the cage. Not breaking,
be growing. It's happening.
I used to press against it like you wouldn't ever move. Knuckles wide with hoping there was something left to prove. Thought the hinge was rusted, thought the frame was sealed. Maybe I imagined the freedom I could feel.
Doors don't always open, and you demand they do. Sometimes they are waiting for a braver version of you. And not louder, not stronger, just ready to explore the quiet turn of courage in the handle of the door.
I thought it would be thunder
or lightning in the air, but it was just a quiet click when I met it there. And the door finally opened, not with fire, not with force,
not with force, a trembling breath, and a step towards something more.
The light didn't blind me, it felt like home, like something in my chest that I'd always known. The door finally opened, and I walked on my own. I thought I needed permission, I thought I needed a sign,
but the handle turned the moment I believed the choice was mine. And the door finally opened because I changed.
I changed.
Not the frame, not the walls, just the fear that kept me contained. No fireworks above me, no crowd to applaud, just quiet feet on solid ground and a heart no longer barred.
The door finally opened,
and I stepped into who I am. I used to wear it like a shadow, dragging at my heels. Every room I walked into felt smaller than it feels. It spoke before I answered, it moved before I chose. I thought it held the power just because it always rose.
Just because it always rose. It learned the shape of my reactions, knew the buttons it could press, built a throne inside my silence, fed itself on second guess. But something in me shifted, something subtle, something slow. The fear that once controlled me doesn't get to steer me anymore. It still knocks at my door, still whispers my name, but it doesn't get the same reply. It doesn't own me now. It doesn't call the shots, call the shot. It doesn't write the ending or decide what I am not. It can echo in the distance, it can try to take a bow, but it doesn't run this heart, it doesn't own me now.
I used to fight it loud, like volume and I'd win, but strength is sometimes choosing not to let it pull you in.
It can linger like a memory, it can hover like a cloud, but weather doesn't rule the sky and I am bigger now. It can circle, it can call, but it doesn't get my all. It doesn't own me now. It doesn't hold the key. It doesn't lock my future or define who I can be. It had its season, it had its say, but I decide who gets to stay. It doesn't own me now.
Maybe you once had power when I didn't know my name.
Maybe you once felt larger when I carried all the blame, but I've learned my boundaries, I've learned my sound, and anything that tries to cage me knows I won't back down. It doesn't own me now. Not the doubt, not the past,
Not the voice that tried to tell me I was never built to last.
it can fade into the background, it can linger like a vow, but it does not hold this light. It doesn't own me now. No, it doesn't own me now.
Still here,
Still mine.
I've walked that road in circles, worn grooves into the ground. Told myself it was familiar, so it must be safe somehow. I memorized the exits, but never used the door. Called it second chances, but it was the same as before.
Comfort has a way of dressing up in disguise, whispering it's easier while slowly dimming your eyes. You can almost miss the moment when staying costs too much, when your peace becomes the question and your heart withdraws its trust.
I've replayed the old excuses,
I've rehearsed the old defense, but I won't trade my future for what barely made sense. I'm not going back, not to who I used to be, not to smaller roots or borrowed certainty. I've outgrown the echo of the laugh I tried to keep. It may call my name, but it doesn't get to speak. I'm not going back.
It wasn't all disaster, it wasn't all regret. The growth has a direction, and I won't reverse it yet. You don't slam the door in anger, you just choose to face ahead. You thank the past for lessons, then walk where you are led.
No bitterness,
no blame,
it's fire that won't burn the same. I'm not going back, not to fear disguised as care, not to shrinking in the corners just to keep the peace somewhere. The road behind is quieter, the road ahead is wide. I don't need to look again to know which way is mine. I'm not going back. Maybe it still tempts me, what I used to know. Maybe it still promises a softer undertow. But I've tasted something steadier, I felt what freedom brings, and I won't trade my forward steps for familiar smaller things. I'm not going back, not this time, not again. The door behind is closing, and I'm not reaching in. No stairs under my leaving, no chaos in my track. I'm not going back, no. I'm not going back. Forward.
I thought fear was a compass, pointing where not to go. A faithful kind of warning, keeping me small and slow. It lived inside my habits, spoke before I tried, dressed itself as wisdom while it kept me locked inside, kept you locked inside.
But fear can learn your language, it can borrow your voice, make caution feel like safety, make silence feel like choice. It doesn't shout in sirens, it hums beneath your breath, convincing you that comfort is the only thing that's left.
The only thing that's left. I'm not blaming who I was,
I was doing what I knew,
but I'm teaching my heart something new.
I'm unlearning fear, one steady step at a time.
At a time, let my nervous system rewrite the warning signs. It doesn't vanish overnight, it doesn't disappear, but it loosens when I face it. I'm unlearning fear. I let my shoulders soften, I let my breathing slow. I stay inside the moment instead of letting go.
Every time I don't retreat, every time I stay, the story fear once told me loses strength that way.
It can whisper, can warn, but it doesn't get to rule my dawn. I'm unlearning fear, not by pushing it away, but by standing in its shadow till it fades into the grave. conquer every doubt that's near. I just needed to choose it. Maybe it kept me breathing when I didn't know my name.
Maybe built a shelter from confusion and from pain.
But I am not that fragile, I am not that small, and I don't need a wall around my heart at every call. I'm unlearning fear, my hands are open wide. The world feels less like danger, more like somewhere I can try. And they still walk beside me, but it's no longer steering. I'm unlearning fear, I'm unlearning fear.
Breathing in, breathing free, fade out calm and steady.
I woke up with the same old questions, still knocking at my door. The mirror didn't look that different from the night before. But something in the quiet felt steadier somehow. The fear was still familiar, it just didn't leave me now.
Courage doesn't shout your name, pull you into light. It's showing up with shaking hands and staying for the fight. It's answering the hard call, it's taking one more step. It's speaking when your voice still trembles, no promise of what's next.
I'm not feeling,
Not immune,
but I'm not who I was in that room.
I'm braver than yesterday, even if I still feel afraid. Stronger in the quiet ways that don't always get displayed.
One small choice, one steady breath, one more step that fear can intercept.
I don't have to win it all, just braver than yesterday.
The doubts still try to visit, they knock but don't come in. They don't get a seat at the table, they don't get to speak for me again.
You don't outgrow your shadows in a single flash of light. You outwalk them slowly till they're smaller in your sight. Not perfect,
Not done, just moving forward one by one. I'm braver than yesterday, that's enough for now.
for now.
I don't need to fear this heart, I just need to show up somehow. The mountain doesn't vanish, but I've learned to climb. The voice that once controlled me is quieter this time. I'm braver than yesterday. Maybe I still shake,
Maybe I still doubt,
but I don't let the shaking.
turn me back around.
Every step I take rewrites the ground beneath. Every time I stand, I prove what I believe. I'm braver than yesterday, and tomorrow I'll be more, because the fear is gone, but because I faced it before. One small spark, one steady flame, a heart that's learning to stay in the game. I don't have to conquer everything, just braver than yesterday. dust is settling slowly on the ground I left behind. Footprints fading softly with the edges of my mind. I thought I'd feel dramatic, like a chapter torn away, but it feels more like a sunrise at the start of something great.
Start of something. The road doesn't look certain, it doesn't promise speed. No flashing signs of glory, just space enough to breathe. There's no applause behind me, no banner overhead, just quiet confirmation, the direction of my steps.
Direction of my steps. I don't know every answer, I don't see every bend, but I trust the way I'm walking more than where I've been.
It's a long road forward, but it's mine to tell and to take.
Every mile is honest,
every choice awake. No rush to be a hero, no need to prove my worth. Just steady feet on open ground and space to go from here. It's a long road forward, and I'm ready for it now.
I carry what is useful, I leave what may small. Not everything behind me was a shadow or a fall.
Some lessons walk beside me, some fade into the trees, but none of them can pull me back from who I'm meant to be.
I won't sprint, I won't stall, I'll just keep answering the call. It's a long road forward, wide and
undefined, but I would rather want to hear than shrink what's in my mind. The past can rest behind me, it's taught me what I know. The future doesn't scare me now, it's somewhere I can go. There will be tired mornings, there will be heavy days, but I have learned the difference between lost and finding my way. Forward doesn't mean everything is clear, it just means I won't turn around when doubt is standing near.
It's a long road forward, and I won't get small. Every step is quieter but steadier than them all. No need for loud beginnings, no need for grand applause, just a heart that shows its freedom and a life that's finally ours. It's a long road forward, and I'm already on my way. On my way. On my way. I didn't notice first the quiet in my chest, the way the noise had faded, the way my pulse could rest. I got amused to tension, like it was just my skin. Didn't know how heavy it was till I wasn't holding it in.
Till you weren't holding it in. You learn to call it normal when you're braced against the day. You forget what open feels like when you've trained yourself to stay. But it tastes different when you're not afraid to move. And space feels like a promise when there's nothing left to prove. Nothing left to prove.
I'm not running,
I'm not hiding, I'm just finally arriving. I'm breathing again, but the sky got wider somehow. Every inhale feels honest, every exhale lets me down. Not fighting the silence, not bracing for pain, just standing here steady, breathing again.
The past still has its shadows, but they don't pull out before. They rest where they belong now, outside of my open door. Peace isn't fireworks, it doesn't scream your name. It's the simple kind of freedom, it doesn't need a claim.
No alarm bells, no disguise, just steady air behind my eyes. I'm breathing again, and it's not just survival, it's the quiet kind of living that feels like revival. No walls around my heart, no armor in my skin, just room enough to stretch my hands and breathe again. I forgot what these felt like, I forgot how light could be, but nothing's collapsing when I let myself feel free. The world didn't end when I chose to release. It opened its arms and handed me peace. I'm breathing again, and I'm not afraid. There's no weight on my shoulders, there's no rush anywhere. The storm is behind me, the sky doesn't bend, and I don't need to fight it. I'm breathing again, breathing again, breathing.
I thought starting over would feel like breaking ground, like tearing down the old walls so something new could sound. But it feels more like a whisper than a battle cry, more like cracked windows letting in the sky.
Letting in the sky. There's no dramatic moment, no sudden burst of light, just small and careful changes that make the air feel right. A different kind of morning, a slower kind of pace, not chasing what I used to be, just giving myself space.
Giving myself space.
I'm not racing, I'm not proving, I'm just using steady movement. I'm starting over softly, with kinder hands this time. This time, no pressure on the healing, no mountain left to climb, just one small promise I can keep. One is breath, one deeper sleep. I'm starting over softly. I used to think that progress had to look like change, like something bold and visible, like stepping on a stage. But growth can be invisible, like roots beneath the ground. You don't see the quiet shift, but it's steady, safe and sound. No sudden turns, no burning bridges, just small, intentional stitches. I'm starting over softly, and that's enough for me, enough for me. No need for loud beginnings of who I used to be. The past can rest behind without a slam goodbye.
I'm building something quiet
and letting it be mine.
I don't need to be fearless,
I don't need to be fast.
I just need to keep walking
without dragging the past.
There's strength in the gentle, there's power in slow, there's courage in choosing to let yourself grow.
I'm starting over softly, with steady open hands, open hands. No rush to reach the future, no need for bigger plans. Just quiet new beginnings, where the come out who I yesterday. I'm not who I was yesterday, and that's enough for me. If you're starting over softly, slowly, stay.
Fade out like morning light spread. I used to call the safety what was really just a cage. Familiar walls around me felt easier than change. I knew the cracks and corners, I knew the way it bent. But comfort isn't freedom if it's built on discontent. Built on discontent.
There's something about open space that makes your heartbeat race. When there's no script to follow and no predictable place, you can feel the ground beneath you, but it doesn't feel the same when there's no one left to tell you who to be or how to stay.
I won't pretend I'm fearless, I won't pretend I'm sure,
but I've never felt this honest before. I'm free, even if it's scary, even if my hands still shake.
Still shake.
Free, even if the future is a risk I have to take. I would rather feel the wind than never leave the shore. I would rather face the unknown than be confined once free, even if it's scary.
There's no applause around me, no crowd to say I'm right. Just quiet confirmation that I stepped into the light.
Freedom isn't painless, doesn't come with a cost, but staying somewhere smaller is a slow kind of loss.
I may tremble, I may doubt, but I won't turn this freedom down.
I'm free, even if it's scary, even if I don't know how. Every step feels unsteady, but it feels like mine somehow. No borrowed expectations, no voice I have to bury. I'm standing in the open, free, even if it's scary.
The old life still whispers,
it says he could come back,
but something in my backbone
won't let me lose this track.
The sky feels wide above me, the ground feels new below. I may not have the map yet, but I finally chose.
Oh, I'm free, even if it's scary, and that's enough for now.
Oh, enough for now.
I don't need complete assurance, I just need this vow to keep walking forward with courage cage that is weary. I'd rather live uncertain, free, even if it's scary.
Shaking hands